Hey guys, I am back. I made some progress on the power supply, so I thought I'd share that with you. So yeah, we've already been through this part of the circuit, as well as this part of the circuit. So today we're going to talk about the current sensing portion of it, as well as um, current the current limit portion of it here. So starting with the current sensing, this is a Max 4080T. I basically stole this part of the schematic from Dave Jones's deal. He just adds an RC filter, it looks like, and then he adds a bypass cap there. That's what it seems like to me. He could have other reasons, I don't know, but anyways, so I just stole those three additional components. I don't think you actually need any of those. A bypass cap is good, just in case kind of thing. But so yeah. Anyways, so what this Max 4080, I unfortunately ordered the T version, but all that this is it's a dedicated high side current sense op amp basically. You can do this with something like an LM358, or maybe if you had something a little higher voltage that could do in a differential configuration. Not all op amps can do the differential current sense like this, or differential voltage sensing like this, but with an LM358 I think you're supposed to be able to. I don't know. I tried to do this on a breadboard with an LM358 and I just could not get it. But for now I'm just going to use the dedicated Max 4080. So yeah, basically let's say that 1 amp is flowing across this 0.33 ohm resistor. That would be 0.33 volts across RS minus and RS plus, or across the resistor, which through a gain of 20 should spit out 6.6 volts here. Voltage divider here, we're going to spit out about 1 volt roughly. It's not quite exactly a volt, but yeah. You can set your range here. So what I did was I said at 3 amps I'd be getting XYZ, and then I wanted to get 3 volts out. And that's what I have here. So at 1 amp I have 1 volt. At 3 amps I'll have 3 volts. And then that goes down into here, into this op amp, which is basically just a comparator. And what we're doing is we're comparing between the amps and the amp adjust, that's basically just the set pin, basically. So that's going to be 0 to 3 volts to dictate what we want to set it to, 0 to 3 amps. So this range is pretty important. Alright, so here I'm in circuit mod. I thought this would be the best way to show this circuit. This is basically going back to Dave's circuit. This right here is basically what the 4080T will do. I have it going across a 1 ohm resistor just to simplify all the math and all that. But anyways, I'm using my MOSFET with Dave's circuit. So yeah, I'm just going to adjust this output right here just to kind of show how this thing will go into current limiting mode. I've got this stuff right here will show what this is doing. So I think the yellow is the current and the green is the voltage. Anyways, I'm just on this wire down here in the scope. So let's go send this thing to 10 ohms, so it'll go into a current limiting mode because we're just looking for 1 amp right here. Apply. And see how now we have 1 volt here, 1 volt there, 1 volt on the output. So this thing works in a linear way, or not a linear, but in an analog way, in that it will basically, its feedback is the whole circuit. So it will do whatever it needs to in its power to adjust to make these both the same. So we have 1 volt, 1 volt. It's driving this BJT in order to drop the voltage on the output down to the appropriate amount. So I thought this was cool. So yeah, I thought it was cool just to kind of see how the Pixies dance down here. We can kind of slow that down just a little bit too. And then redo it here. See, now that's off. This thing takes over. We're hitting 10 volts. And we go down to 10 ohms. And it comes back in here. So let's go up to like 50 ohm load. So we're at 200 millivolts, 200 milliamps. So let's go down to 0.1, apply, same thing. So here we're maintaining 100 milliamps. Yeah, I just thought that was kind of cool to see. I thought this was the best way to describe it. So